Hello!
Hello!
Welcome back to our channel, Not Another Travelling Couple. Today we would like to talk to you about budget travel. So we're coming towards the end of our time in Thailand. I can't believe we've been here for almost a month already.
It's crazy how quick it's gone.
Yeah, it's literally just flown by. But we've definitely learned some really good budgeting tips since we first arrived here.
Yeah, so our daily budget is £20, which is roughly about 1,000 baht each here in Thailand. Some days we're above the budget, some days we're below. But whilst you're out here, it's a good idea to keep on track of your finances. This video is mainly aimed at couples, but you can also use this if you're a solo traveller.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you say the words budget travel, I think a lot of people think of like really dingy hostels or eating supermarket noodles for a month or like hiking or lying on a beach all day, which is absolutely fine if you're on a teeny tiny minuscule budget. But £20 each a day gives us a pretty comfortable life here in Thailand.
Pretty comfy, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've stayed in some luxury hotels, we've eaten a lot of food, delicious food. And we've seen some really incredible places along the way as well.
Yeah, so if you want to know how we do it,
let's get to it. Point number 1, accommodation. So the majority of your budget will probably be spent on accommodation. We've tried a few different search engines. We've tried Booking, we've tried Trivago, hostels, hotels.com, whatever it is. But the best one that we've found so far is definitely Agoda. We've got the Agoda app on our phones. And usually if we're looking for somewhere to stay, we will search by best customer review and then the cheapest price for our budget.
or the pool.
Sometimes I might add a pool if I'm feeling a bit fancy, but that's definitely the best way to get sort of like the bargain deals and the best hotels. If you for some reason can't find anything on Agoda, Airbnb is a good second base.
That's a good plan B.
Yeah, if you want somewhere a bit more quirky, go for Airbnb.
Tip number 2, breakfast.
The most important meal of the day.
Most budget hotels don't actually come with breakfast included, so some do offer it, and it's usually on average about 150 baht each. I would strongly recommend not bothering with it. It's usually like a buffet style, very like low quality meats if you're a meat eater, which she's not.
Go for fruit instead.
But you can go to the market, and these are probably roughly about 10 baht each. Yeah.
Tip number 3, avoid package tours. I mean, package tours are fine if you're on like a short holiday and you want to see a lot of things in a short amount of time, but if you're traveling for a while, you are blessed with more free time, which means that you can do things at your own pace. Quite a lot of tours that we've seen are like 4 islands in 4 hours, or all the temples in the city in 2 hours, or it just seems very rushed. I don't think you can truly enjoy something if you're crammed into a minivan and shipped off to loads of different places all in a couple of hours.
If you've got the time, just relax.
Yeah, just relax about it. Like, if there's somewhere that you want to visit, do your research, see how much it is just for the admission price, and then look into getting local transport there, because that's definitely much cheaper. Which brings us to tip number 4.
Tip number 4, transport. If you're in Thailand, we have the local buses here, which are called Songthaos. Here in Chiang Mai, around the city, you're probably looking about 20 baht. If you're going outside the city, you expect to pay a little bit more. Also, we have tuk-tuks. They're considerably more expensive. You're probably going to pay about 4 times the amount as a local bus.
But they are fun.
They are pretty fun. You can always walk as well, but you won't see a single Thai person walking here.
Yeah, they just don't walk for some reason.
Probably because the pavements are quite few and far between, to be honest.
Yeah.
If you do want to gamble with your life, you could probably rent out a motorcycle or a ped. I personally don't want to do this. I'm a motorcyclist at home, but it's not worth it. It's just not worth it.
We've seen a few accidents. We've seen a few people getting on a bike for the first time who have no idea what they're doing, and it's fairly terrifying to be on the same road as them.
Yeah, definitely. Tip number 5, haggle. If you haven't already haggled before, you better learn quick. In Thailand, you'll be using it on a regular basis. For example, if a tuk-tuk driver came to you and said 100 baht for a journey, immediately half it, and then I wouldn't actually go any higher than 60 personally myself. I'm pretty hard on
Yeah,
Haggle, to be honest.
Sam drives a hard bargain. I'm a bit softer. I'm like, okay, 70's fine. So I leave Sam to do the haggling now.
Yeah, but remember, there's plenty of other drivers out there. So if you're ever stuck, just use the walkaway technique, which I use quite often.
Yeah.
But again, once you're here, you'll know how much things cost and distances. You'll be able to work out roughly a price in your head. It's always best to be fair with the driver, but don't let them take you for a ride just because you're new here.
Tip number 6, eat at local food places. Thai food is awesome. There's always loads of amazing street food on the side of the road or in walking markets, and it's cheap and it's tasty. Usually for a dish at a market it's around 50 baht.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, something like that. So it's really cheap and it's a good way to taste like authentic Thai food. On the other hand, there's a lot of restaurants that have been set up especially for tourists and for Westerners that'll sell pizza.
I expect to pay about 300 baht for a pizza here.
Sam loves pizza.
I do love pizza.
And it's a very expensive habit to have.
Indulge yourself once a week, maybe, but don't have it all the time.
Yeah, I mean, you've come to Thailand, so you might as well try the local cuisine. There's no point just spending your money on food you can eat at home every day.
And I've eaten all the Thai food.
Another point to say is we have been eating out at quite a few specialty restaurants that are vegan or raw or vegetarian. Some of them are really cheap. We found some really cheap vegetarian like buffet places in Thailand.
Oh, they're amazing.
They're so good. We're obsessed with them. They do loads of like tofu-y bits as well, which are really nice.
Yeah, usually find them around temples.
Yeah, because all of the monks are vegetarian. They're often catered for around the temples. Other than that, we went to Starbucks.
Avoid it.
Once.
Avoid it like the plague.
We really needed some Wi-Fi because we were trying to find an ice cream parlour. And we were like, oh, Starbucks always has Wi-Fi, let's go in there. And I'm not joking, 2 drinks and, do you have a panini?
I did have a panini,
Yeah.
I was really hungry.
It was more than our hotel, our food for the day, our transport. It just completely blew our budget out the water. Yeah, so avoid places like that. Avoid Starbucks, McDonald's, KFC, Pizza Hut, all the big chains, and find some tasty local food instead. Point number 7, discounts. Sometimes your hotel can find you some really good deals on like local excursions or activities. Usually in the reception or in the lobby they'll have loads and loads of leaflets of different things to do, and it's definitely worth asking them because sometimes we found that they can be half the price of the price in the leaflet if they've got a special deal going on with them, or maybe it's because it's low season, but there have been some examples of where you can save like up to half price on certain things, so it's definitely worth asking your receptionist to see what they can do for you.
Tip number 8, travel in low season. There are pros and cons to this. The cons being that it's usually in the rain season and the weather can be rather unpredictable. For example, when we first arrived in rain season, we went to Phuket and we had literally no time to sunbathe or do anything like that.
No sunbathing, no island excursions, no boat rides because
of the rain.
It was stormy, it was windy and rainy. It was like being back home.
Yeah. But anyway, the pros to this are that it's going to be a hell of a lot cheaper. Our flights were reduced. It must have been, I don't know, even less than a quarter of the price that it should really be.
Yeah, definitely.
Things here are a lot cheaper as well during this time because people are wanting business. And the other pro is that it's not going to be as busy. That's definitely going to be a fact. We think it's actually a little bit busy now, but
yeah, it does seem quite busy now, but I'm sure in high season it's just like mental with tourists.
Yeah, definitely.
Tip number 9 is be adventurous and ditch the home brands. So in the supermarkets over here you will find brands that you have in England or in your home country, and the thing is that they're the same but they're about 5 times more expensive. I learned this the hard way. We'd gone into Rimping,
it's like the Waitrose.
The Waitrose of Thailand, and it has all of the lovely imported things. It's got Marmite, it's got Heinz beans, it's got all those sort of things.
Twinings propaganda, English flags.
With English flags, yeah. But anyway, I got reeled in by these Eat Real quinoa crisps. If you've ever tried them, you'll know my plight. Anyway, I just bought them, didn't even look at the price. I was like, oh, I'll be fine. And then when I looked at the receipt when I got home, they were the equivalent of £4 on a packet of crisps. I was like, how did I even do that?
Basically, the long story short is, if it's got an English name on the front, don't buy it because it's probably going to be more expensive. And also another tip is that all the cheaper stuff is along the bottom of the aisle.
Yeah, and it's better to try some different things as well. We've tried loads of new snacks and some of them are pretty horrible, but some of them have been really tasty and we've bought them every day.
We made a habit of that. Every 7-Eleven we went to, any shop, we'd try something new every time. Some were really disgusting, but some are really nice. Yeah,
so it's definitely worth sort of going out of your comfort zones and trying all these new things because it'll save you a lot of money in the long run too.
Tip number 10, laundry. It's probably not the first thing that comes to mind when on holiday or travelling, but it's definitely one of the most important because nobody likes smelly socks.
Yeah, you don't want to reek of like you've been travelling for months in the same pair of trousers.
No, we've packed for about a week worth of clothes, so we tend to wash every 5 days or so. There's 3 ways of going about this. The first way and the most expensive way is through the hotel or wherever you're staying. Don't bother because they charge per piece and expect to pay like a sock would be 10 baht and so forth. You know, you're going to end up rocking up a hell of a lot of money doing it that way. The second option is the laundrette.
There's loads of laundrettes in Thailand. If you go down a little back alley, you'll find loads of people just doing laundry. It's so much cheaper as well. And I suspect that most hotels just give your laundry to them anyway.
Yeah. The third way, which we do with our underwear, because we don't want anyone, the unfortunate person, to be washing our underwear.
Especially snaps.
Just do it in the sink. I mean, there's kettles in the hotels. You can go down to your local 7-Eleven and get a little sachet of washing powder. All it takes is half an hour just to wash them, hang them up to dry, leave them outside or wherever you can dry them. Just leave it and they'll be dry the next day.
It's not the most glamorous thing, but you're backpacking. It's what you gotta do. Bonus tip number 11, which is the most important tip of all, and that is to write down every single thing that you buy, which sounds very boring and very OCD, but it's the most helpful thing you can do to keep track of your budget.
Trust me, it's easy to forget who spent what and where.
Yeah, me and Sam have tried to be pretty fair and sort of half things down the middle. And if we've had a long day, if we've been travelling on a bus, or if we've been to quite a few different shops or bought things on the market, it's so easy to lose track of who's paid what. So the best thing you can do is just buy a little tiny notebook, write every single thing down that you've bought in the day, and that's the best thing you can do to keep track of your finances. So there we have it. We'd love to find out which point you think is most valuable from today's video.
And please share us your favourite budgeting tips.
Thanks for watching. See you later.